when I was a young man, there was one of the first of the Japanese manga anime films was called the Yorosuke Doji, which means the Legend of the Overfiend, and it was a movie about these three levels of reality: the human plane, which we exist upon, and then there was a higher plane with beings that were part human and part higher being, and they could phase shift in and out of our realm and this higher realm. But then there were these lower realm beings, they called them the Makai, and they were like these sex demons, and everybody had a human form, but these two other forms, the higher and the lower, they would transdimensionally shift into human forms and interact with just normal human beings like us. Okay? The higher beings would seek to kind of elevate us, and the lower beings would feed on us through like these disgusting sexual experiences. All right? And so the reason I'm sharing that with you is, when I was a young man, I dabbled in modeling and, this, that, and the other, like not to any great effect. But I want to share an experience with you related to a drug that you're hearing related to the P. Diddy case. It's called GHB. GHB. And I think that 1,000 bottles of baby oil, it probably wasn't all baby oil. Probably some of it was GHB. I'm going to tell you about my experience with it. A guy invited me, my girlfriend and I, and my brother and his wife-to-be to a party. And we knew he was giving it to us, so it's not like we were slipped this substance. But I want to describe to you what this substance does. He was just like, hey, man, we were young and we were experimenting. And he said, hey, man, give this stuff a try, man. It's a really cool buzz. And it was a clear liquid. It's called GHB. And he just poured it in to a glass, and we put our drinks in over top of it, and you didn't taste a thing. Your drink was just like the normal drink, okay? So, it's been a long time. Like, this was back in the late 90s, the mid to late 90s, and I have no idea how long it took, but I'm gonna just be upfront with you and be honest with you. There was my brother. When the drug kicked in, my brother, first we were in a euphoric state. My brother, he passed out. And he and his wife-to-be, they left. I mean, he passed out and seemed almost like he was dead. We were like worried about it. And so they left. And so there was myself and my girlfriend and the guy who gave us the stuff and his wife. And I don't know if we kept consuming this stuff or what, because I can't remember. But all I can say is, and this is just being candid, there was a point at which I had my penis out. It seemed like a normal thing to do. And for me, that's not a normal thing to do. But it just was. And I remember we were all dancing, and it was between my girlfriend's legs. And then I took her breast out and began sucking on her breasts. And the guy we had all ingested this stuff, his wife was performing fellatio upon him. And it just seemed normal. Now, I'm not into this. I'm not into that. I'm not into swinging and freakiness. But what I'm trying to share with you is this drug, this GHB stuff, when you ingest it, you do stuff like that without regard. It doesn't seem strange. And there was a point, right? Check this out now. Because this is the critical point. There was a point when the dude wanted to swap his wife with my girlfriend, right? And at that moment, right? It was like I can't snap well. At that moment, I just snapped out of it and was like, I remember I actually was like, stop! And everybody kind of, but that's GHB. That's the stuff this stuff they're calling horse tranquilizer. I believe that's GHB. If that's the stuff that he was giving people, that's what the effect it has on you. And so, like, if there are people in videos doing a bunch of wild stuff, if they've been given that, they're not even, it's not that you're not aware that you're doing it. That's what's so strange about it. You are aware of what you're doing. It just seems normal. It just seems normal to suddenly start having an orgy. So that's why they were giving people that stuff, GHB. And so a lot of people who may be in videos, man, and this is the thing, you wouldn't even know you were giving it. See, like, now remember I told you my brother, he just passed out. So he could have been taken advantage of in a completely different way. I didn't pass out. I mean, I never felt intoxicated. I never felt like I was more inebriated than I would have been with the drinks that I took. My behavior was just different. I mean, it just, like I said, there was just a point when I just took my penis out, I put it between my girlfriend's legs, we're dancing, you know what I mean? Like, and that was that. So, that's the world we live in, right? That's the kind of stuff that's going on. But I mean, I think it's interesting though, man, because this guy, like, and he wasn't anybody of any significance, but he definitely was one of these production type dudes, you know what I'm saying? He dabbled in the music industry. Like I said, I'm not making any allegations against these people who we're hearing about, but just that spirit, you know what I mean? So that's my experience with it, and it's some dangerous stuff though, man, in terms of being able to like control a person's spirit, and it's definitely the spirit of that Makai energy, man. There are people who are sexual demons, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's and I'm sure some of you watching, you know what I'm talking about because you're one of them. But for other people, like, you don't know anything about these behaviors. But I do think it's interesting that you can give a person a drug and they will behave in a sexual manner. And once again, like, it's not like you don't have to force the person to do it. You just do it. It feels normal. But then I would imagine the next day you might be saying to yourself, like, well, why the fuck did I do that? So they may have people in all kinds of compromising. And now I understand. It just hit me. They're doing it to catch you in the compromising situation so that they can bribe and manipulate you. That's the whole point. And so, like, the people's challenge is going to be able, because there's probably people now who are facing serious consequences who have been given this stuff. Now, okay, I'm piecing it together. That's probably why they keep mentioning 1,000 bottles of baby oil, because the oil is this stuff. You see what I'm saying? And they're, introducing the case to you. Because that would go along with the massive parties. You see what I'm saying? Like, they're just drugging everybody. That's wild. I mean, this shit is nasty, man. The way what's being revealed about our world, it's just disgusting, dude.